Okay, now I'd like to introduce Joan Brennan. And Joan Brennan's from Merchantville, a town that's close to my heart. My kids grew up in Merchantville and went to school with some of her kids. And she's been doing some incredible work with this group called Incredible Edible Merchantville. And I recently attended the annual luncheon where they gave awards, the Sustainable Jersey luncheon, and they were recognized for the Creativity and Innovation Award. I'd like to have Joan tell us a little bit more about the project that she's been working on these past few years. Joan, are you available?
I'm here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on Incredible Edible Merchantville, and I'll be following in Lorraine's footsteps, and in the interest of time, read my presentation because it's been a lot over the last 3 years. In any event, in May of 2018, I saw a TED Talk on how we can eat our landscapes out of England. Made me think more about the future and how changing our approach to land stewardship can make a real impact, even in a community small like Merchantville. I've been a nurse for over 40 years and I've lived in Merchantville for 35 years. We've raised our 7 kids here and 17 of our 21 grandchildren live in the community. Looking at the future, I started to talk about a friend with it to see if they'd be interested in undertaking an innovative project like Incredible Edible. I figured it was a simple way to make a personal step towards improving the environment, providing food for those in need, educating residents about healthy eating, and securing a future sustainability of Merchantville as a community. I wanted to model it after this TED Talk, after Pam Warhurst. She had a mission of creating a kind, confident, and connected community through the power of food. The beauty of Incredible Edible and this program, there's an Incredible Edible network that's very supportive of any community that wants to do something like that, is that it's a shared experience, one size fits all. We're a very small town, 5/8 of a square mile, about 3,500 residents. We don't have municipal employees who are paid to develop and manage projects like this. So it seemed like a good fit for us. It openly accepts and encourages all sorts of community contributions, the willingness in the project to let people who have creative food ideas and growing ideas take small actions and pilot their little program under our umbrella, as long as it fulfills one of our 3 foundational plates, seemed to make sense. So it began. We wrote a proposal in July of 2018 and presented it to mayor and council. And they asked us to exist in town under the Green Team umbrella. That September, the seeds were planted at our first meeting. It was attended by 6 residents and they were very enthusiastic about moving forward with this proposal. We called that group our core working group, and we decided our mission would be to nurture environmental stewardship, encourage a culture of wellness, and promote food justice through edible landscape. I was fortunate because I work at a school in Philadelphia for disabled children, and my assistant there is Keith Monahan, who is a master gardener formerly with GMO Free New Jersey and seed librarian for the South Jersey Seed Circle Library. Also, I think the Horticultural Society. He was very helpful in getting me answers about establishing habitats, researching plants that were native plants, supporting pollinators, predator habitat, soil testing, and how to go about getting grant monies, which we haven't done successfully yet, but we're working on. Organization and promotion and funding were key goals in this first year. Our meetings were advertised. We had a really strong social presence. I've personally have managed, administered a community website in town since 1994. So I was able to throw up a page and get some information out there about it, and also managed Facebook pages for Incredible Edible, and then a group page where we publish our minutes for our meetings and things like that. We have a Twitter feed and Instagram as well. And I'll post all these things in the chat as far as contacts and information at the end of speaking. The The buy-in from the community grew by the spring of 2019. Our membership probably increased to 10 or 12 people, and people were interested through social media. We undertook a few small action projects. It's lucky because I have so many children and I'm able to grab them and nab them for volunteer projects and say, you want to do something here, think of something and do it to support this project. So we grew beanstalks and a pollinator garden around tennis courts at one of our parks. We developed a sunflower plot along our rails to trails. We have about a 1.5 mile path of rails to trails that goes through our community between Camden and Pennsauken, and it has a greenway on both sides. So there's plenty of space to use for planting. We had projects developing insect hotels, things that we thought would be beneficial for outreach to school communities. And then just lots of other things that we thought of doing. We supported regular programs like the Daffodil Fest that we have in town, selling plants and getting the word out there. And also we've had, for the past 5 years, a market. So we tried to show up there and send out information. Also reached out to a couple of community businesses. We have a brewery in town which is run by somebody with a horticultural degree, and he grows hops on the side of his building every year. So it was just a natural fit for us. We had students who planted gardens, neighbors who shared their gardens, and then residents and businesses who distributed their harvest to a local community pantry. So we basically, since 2019, succeeded in connecting our community through a garden to plate project to sustain the future for the community and wellness in the community. Last month, we were fortunate enough to receive that award from Sustainable Jersey, and our town was fortunate to achieve bronze status with Sustainable Jersey. And that project was a project that we, as Incredible Edible Merchantville, worked on quite a bit with Dorothy Foley, one of our members, to contribute so that we could achieve that bronze status this year. Our goals for this coming year are to promote outdoor learning, nutritional security, and physical well-being, provide safe outdoor opportunities for learning and exercise as the pandemic continues, access to healthy food for the community, and donations to food pantries, provide recreation and stress reduction through gardening to benefit mental health, emotional and physical well-being. We're going to start reporting with our sustainability partners. We're lucky to be a small community that does already have well-established sustainability partners in our garden club that's been around for many years. Our Shade Tree Commission, I think we've been a tree city in New Jersey for over 40 years, and the Green Team. So we have great partners to do that. We are establishing a sustainable landscape registry, and we have certain outreach programs that we're going to do this year to achieve the community learning and business plate of the Incredible Edible Network model. Some of the things that we're doing, again, food security, the pantry partnership we have, participating in the farmers market for education. We have an organic community garden that 2 residents got a grant for, and were able to start developing last year. And they'll have, I believe, 8 plots in the organic garden this year. And they started a composting project this year that will be built out, that is built out this month, I think. We have a program for monarch butterfly, milkweed, spotted lanternfly initiative to use milkweed to be able to deter the spotted lanternflies in town, and we're doing that in conjunction with the Shade Tree Commission. One of our big projects this year, which is not really big action, because these are all really small actions that involve collaboration with other groups, is to develop a horticultural therapy program to work with veterans with PTSD, because community partnerships like this are a big part of Incredible Edible, and there's research that's shown that therapeutic nature of horticulture has helped them to relieve depression and reduce stress, improve their nutrition, things like that. In learning, we collaborate with the school. The school now has a junior green team. And unfortunately, because of COVID, they weren't allowed to really participate much last year, but we're looking forward to this partnership this year. We have an environmental series that Dorothy Foley has run for the last 2 years, where we show films. And we, this year, are going to establish a seed library right outside our community library, which is located at our school. So we'll have a little library there for people to exchange seeds, as well as having plant exchanges as we do through the course of the year. As far as business partnerships, we've reached out to quite a few, and they pretty much support our efforts to provide food security in the community. So we're a small town. We have sort of a west and an east end aspect to that. And so we look forward to having lots of extra produce to be shared this year to go out to the community through our business relationships. And then a couple of other things we're doing this year. We made a presentation to Borough Council about a week ago, requesting funding, requesting support for any kind of approval we want for signage and things like that, guidance and direction, collaboration on developing uniform or specific signage and surround enclosures for some of our habitat gardens and everything like that. Right now, they sort of exist in free space along the greenway of rails to trails, but we want to identify them a little bit more than we have in the past. We did buy some signage, some yard signage last year that we gave out to anybody who had a garden or any of the pollinator gardens. And so that's about where we are this year. We created a cute little video that we showed at the Sustainable Jersey Awards. And I will share the link to that on YouTube with you at the end as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joan. You can see why you folks won that creativity and innovation award. That was really something. And hopefully some of the other folks may have been inspired by some of your ideas and might be interested in getting in touch with you. So if you want to put your contact information in the chat, that would be helpful too. Right. Now I'd like